Galaxy map.
Opening map.
Exit. Exit.
FSD supercharged.
Engage on my mark. Engage FFD on my mark. Engage FSD on my mark.
Standing by.
Engage.
Charging frameshift drive.
Scanning for information.
Full spectrum system scanner.
Acknowledged, Captain.
Exit. Engage FSD on my mark.
Okay.
Increase speed 25%. Engage.
Charging frameshift drive.
FSD supercharged.
Engage. Engage FSD.
Charging frameshift drive.
Let's go. Planet. Of the moon. Earths. Oh yeah, that was tasty. I was filled with delicious delectableness. And an oatmeal cream pie, 2 BLTs. No, well, to me, 2 BTLs. Or,
Scanning for information.
Sorry, there's no L in those. Full spectrum system scanner.
Right away, Captain.
Exit. Exit. Engage FSD. Engage FSD.
Charging frameshift drive.
Activate night vision.
Acknowledged.
Activate lights. Activate lights.
Scanning.
Never been here before, apparently. Full spectrum system scanner.
Affirmative.
Well, whatever it is, it's gonna have to be on orbit.
Patching you through.
Exit.
Eden?
Ice world. Ice worlds are composed mainly of water ice.
Engage
Worlds
FSD.
like this will not have much heating in the past, forming in the cooler
Engage
regions of the
FSD
star
drive.
system and have retained many
Charging
volatiles
frameshift drive.
as solids within their crust.
Extraordinary. Scanning now.
Full spectrum system scanner.
Okay.
Exit. 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 Engage FSD drive.
Charging frameshift drive.
We in the future, baby. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Captain.
Engage FSD.
Charging frameshift drive.
FSD supercharged.
Engage FSD.
Acknowledged.
Scanning now.
Full spectrum system scanner.
Okay.
Exit.
Patching you through. Eden?
Class 1 gas
Engage
giants.
FSD drive.
Class 1 or Jovian
Charging
gas giants
frameshift drive.
had primarily hydrogen and helium atmospheres. Coloration comes from clouds
Science
in the upper
officer,
atmosphere
report.
of ammonia, water vapor, hydrogen sulfide, phosphine, and sulfur.
Number
The
one,
temperature
report.
at the top of the upper cloud layers is typically less than 150 Kelvin.
Science
Fascinating.
officer. System
Yes,
information.
Captain?
Science officer.
Aye, Captain.
Report. What can you do?
Scanning.
What can you do? Options. Option. Options. Full spectrum system scanner.
Acknowledged.
Exit. Engage FSD.
Charging frameshift drive.
Crew, report. Science officer.
Captain?
Random Stephen Hawking quote. Random Stephen Hawking fact.
Scanning for information.
Stephen Hawking quote. Stephen Hawking fact. Headlights. Headlight. Lamp. Illuminate. Illumination. Orbit lines.
Right away, Captain.
Fire Group A. Combat mode.
Acknowledged.
Fire Group A.
Captain, it's done.
Fire Group A.
Done.
Fire Group 1. Launch fighter. Attack. Fire Group 1. Launch hard points. Deploy hard point.
Weapons unlocked.
Fire Group A.
Captain, it's done.
Fire Group Alpha. Retract hard point.
Closing.
Deploy fighter. Deploy hard points.
Standing by
Arming
for
weapons.
launch. Deploying fighter. That's already done.
Deploy fighter.
Standing by for launch. Deploying fighter. That's already done.
Roger that. I've got control of the mothership. The fighter is now under my control. Just tell me what you need.
Attack. Target.
All targets destroyed. We're in the clear, Commander.
Night vision.
Acknowledged, Captain.
Lights. Deploy cargo scoop.
Deploying.
Retract hard points.
Weapons retracted.
Analysis mode.
Affirmative.
Fire Group C.
Fire groups.
Fire Group Alpha.
That's already done.
Fire Group C. Fire Group Charlie. Deploy collector limpet.
Affirmative, Captain.
Launch collector limpet.
Right away, Captain.
Recall fighter.
Affirmative. Bringing the fighter in now, sir.
Receiving telemetry. Stand by. Door opening.
Collect my little bits.
Systems confirmed. Docking was successful.
gonna pick this shit up as I go. Retract hardpoint.
Captain.
Retract
it's
cargo
done.
scoop.
Retracted.
Engage FSD.
Charging frameshift drive.
Orbit lines.
Affirmative, Captain.
Orbit lines.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Stephen Hawking. Quote Stephen Hawking. Quote Stephen Hawking. Auto docking.
Submit a request before docking and enjoy
Auto
your visit,
dock.
Commander.
Acknowledged. Request sent. Leaving map.
Request docking.
As requested. Helm.
Permission authorized.
Yes,
Preparing for arrival on
Handing you
landing
the
pad
comm.
09er.
I have it.
Quarter impulse.
1/4 impulse engaging.
Preparing for precision approach. Use of docking computer has been sanctioned.
Play Galnet.
Playing entry.
Patrias highlights Thargoid tactics. Senator Denton Patrias, Fleet Admiral of the Imperial Navy, has discussed the Empire's new priorities following
Play
the battle
music.
of HIP 22460.
Playing entry.
During an exclusive interview with the Eye on Akanan newsfeed, Patrias said, Her Majesty the Emperor has decreed that our military priority is to defend systems within the Empire. The Imperial Navy's production and training facilities have increased their
Landing
efforts
modules
to redress
deployed.
the loss of 3 Majestic-class interdictors,
Landing
along with tens
thrusters.
of thousands of
Readying landing thrusters.
naval crew. I've
Approaching
conducted my
LZ.
own tactical analysis of what took place in the HIP
Touchdown.
22460 system.
Handoff complete.
Salvation's
Good.
interest in the area
Captain,
with historic
the ship is yours.
Touchdown. Notifying ground crew.
Thargoid ruins was no coincidence, I feel. He was something of a showman, and planning a final victory.
Repairs,
against
fuel,
the territory fits
weapons,
what we know of
check.
his ambition. The Thargoids attacked human fleets with ferocious intent, but the fact they never assaulted the Proteus wave site strikes me as remarkable.
Completed.
Even when considering the stout resistance we offered. There is saying among military strategists, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. In hindsight, it seems possible that the Thargoids allowed the Proteus wave to be installed at their surface site, with the foreknowledge that they could turn the superweapon against us. Perhaps Salvation unknowingly constructed his own execution chamber. I'm convinced that we face an alien intelligence with the strategic competence to match any human opponent. The Empire cannot underestimate this enemy ever again. Thargoids turn attention to inhabited systems. Pilots Federation alert. Swarms of Thargoid vessels have invaded the 42N Persei, Chun Pindit and Tekhachal systems in an apparently coordinated attack. Vox Galactica published this report by field correspondent Ernesto Rios. Since the Thargoids conquered HIP 22460 a month ago, their presence has gradually expanded in all directions. But these are the first inhabited systems to be invaded since the Proteus wave incident, threatening a combined population of over 7 million people. The governing factions of these systems, Sirius Inc., SI Terraforming, and Public Corporation, respectively, are expected to host defensive operations against the Thargoids. None are aligned to a superpower, and so have no formal navy to support these efforts. As yet, none of the starports in 42N Persei, Chun Pindit or Tekachel have been directly attacked. Civilians have been instructed to remain calm, but many are evacuating, fearful of the stations suffering caustic enzyme bombardment. This is a notable difference from previous Thargoid incursions and has led some military figures to theorize on the aliens' new strategic objectives. Defensive operations are being orchestrated from the starports Bennington's Rest, Samudar Terminal, and Riemann
I
Colony.
need to go beam
Thargoid
lasers,
combat
huh?
bonds can be handed in at these locations for increased credit rewards. Federation monitors pro-Zeno activity. The Federal Intelligence Agency has warned of heightened interest in the Thargoid cult and groups considered sympathetic to the Thargoids. Deputy Director Bethany Blake, who runs the Proactive Detection Bureau, delivered a public statement. We have confirmed a significant increase in communications between local chapters of the Thargoid religious order, which includes the sharing of unverified xenological data. The Thargoids' victory in HIP 22460 seems to have caused unprecedented excitement among the cultists. At present, there is no evidence that they pose any danger to the public. However, we are concerned by a recent increase in citizens abandoning their conventional lifestyles to join the cult. We have also noted the rising popularity of a civil movement that advocates diplomatic relations with the Thargoids. This rhetoric is being promoted by several high-profile media figures. There is currently no known connection between these Xenopeace supporters and the Thargoid cult, but both groups are being closely observed for potential criminality. Dr. Alfred Ulyanov, the leading academic authority on the Thargoid faith, submitted his observations to the Federal Times. Recent events in HIP 22460 have galvanized the cultists, but also seem to have triggered an element of discord among some. Worshippers are abandoning the Orthodox Hive chapels and pledging themselves to the True Chapter sect, where the first apostle is being hailed as a holy messenger of the Far God. My contacts inform me that the
Domino
Testament
Green.
megaship has dispatched scouts to locate a
Shared
more
knowledge of
permanent
another
home,
engineer in
likely to
exchange for
accommodate
5
a wave
doses
of
of
new
push.
converts.
Let me find me 5 doses of push real quick.
Successful mining campaign sustains azimuth. Pilots Federation alert. A range of mined materials have been delivered to the LHS 157 system to help Azimuth Biotech create new facilities. Captain Maxim Laganov, in command of the glorious Prospect megaship, announced.
Let's go.
This is the second time in recent weeks that our cargo bays have been stocked with vital supplies to sustain Azimuth's future. These shipments of cobalt, gallite and osmium will be distributed to our manufacturing teams, and we hope to construct new permanent facilities in good time. Torben Raidmaker has authorized us to release funds to all pilots who mined and delivered these materials. This initiative has played a major role in helping to rebuild the corporation.
Oh my god, this has got to be in dark mode. I can't do it.
The glorious Prospect will remain in the
so much better.
LHS 157 system for now. Pilots who have contributed to this initiative will shortly receive a Mbuni system permit, providing individual contribution targets were met. With the destruction of the Bright Sentinel, the Prospect's deep outpost in Mbuni is currently the only supplier of Salvation's pre-engineered Guardian Gauss cannon, Guardian Plasma Charger, and Guardian Shard cannon. Mahn rebukes Imperial isolationism. Prime Minister Edmund Mahn has spoken out against Emperor Arisa Lavigny Deval's decree to suspend inter-superpower cooperation. At a meeting of the Alliance Assembly, Mahn said, "This hasty decision from Emperor Arisa will have dangerous repercussions for the core systems as a whole, not just those within the Empire. Now that the Thargoids have become more hostile than ever before, humanity should be uniting against this common enemy. Let us not forget, the coalition of anti-Xeno task forces in HIP 22460 performed their duties admirably, despite the tragic conclusion. That degree of military coordination could and should be sustained, to a far broader scale. The Sirius Treaty, which I proposed at the Galactic Summit in 3307, would have established anti-Xeno operations as a cross-superpower priority.
Wow.
I can only imagine how much better prepared we would now be to combat the Thargoids. But there is still scope for governments and organizations to work more closely, as exemplified by our Strategic Defense Pact with Sirius Corporation. The Alliance, Federation and Marlinist colonies have reported that the Empire is methodically closing down all collaborative projects. However, official diplomatic representation in non-imperial territories has been maintained. Xenopeace discussions gain momentum. Public debate around the Battle of HIP 22460 has seen the emergence of a grassroots movement that promotes communication with the Thargoids. As militaries prepare for a protracted anti-Xeno conflict, this alternative viewpoint has gained traction on social channels in multiple systems. Proponents believe that their governments should focus on finding ways to open a dialogue with the Thargoid species and end hostilities using diplomatic means. On interstellar communal experience platforms, some influential names have amplified the Xenopeace concept. In a recent ICE cast, leading caster Joyce Senna openly discussed the topic with her viewers. How do you end the war? Is it by fighting harder, building bigger weapons, wiping out everyone you can? No. Well, sometimes I guess. But I guess salvation blew that one, right? We shouldn't just accept what our leaders are telling us, that the only way to end the Thargoid war is through military action. So if you want peace, you learn to talk to the other side and find common ground.
Where in the world? Okay.
That's why I'm fascinated by this Thargoid advocacy project, which is promoting ways to resolve this terrible situation through non-violent means. Millions of people have already signed up. What do you all think? The movement has received minor coverage in most news feeds. However, The Sovereign, which reports on events in independent systems, has dedicated several segments to the Thargoid advocacy project. Deputy editor Hamer Borichev regularly discusses the topic in his editorials.
Regular markers. Let's try that.
Pro-peacers are being ridiculed for wanting to talk to the aliens rather than shoot them. The experts claim it's a waste of research trying to communicate with Thargoids. But better facts are out there. Listen to what Professor Tesro has always said between the lines. Seek out theories that weren't approved by your governments. Make up your own mind. In the Federation,
oh man, I hate to
for the
do it, but I'm gonna have to
Proactive
look at the
Detection Bureau
video.
remarked, an increase in pro-Xeno sentiment has been flagged by our algorithms, since such messages often include markers for potentially
Hello, it's
antisocial
Ricardo
behavior.
and welcome back to
There
Elite
is
Dangerous
currently
Odyssey.
no
There's a new
evidence that this is
material
anything
and
other
substance
than a
out there to go and
countercultural
find.
social
It's
phenomenon,
called
but our
Push.
operatives
But how
are
do you
monitoring the
exactly do you
situation.
find it? Well, let's find out.
Unexplained flare detected in deep space.
Now, this
Pilot
lovely young
Federation
lady
alert.
is Domino Green. She's a troubled yet brilliant young engineer that's been introduced with the other new engineers in Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Why is she so important? She is an engineer to allow you to engineer your suits and your weapons. Now, she requires this substance called Push as well to introduce you to another engineer. So I'm off to the Aurora system to go and have a look at the planet Grey. Now, the planet Grey is a planet that has got a particular set of items on it. Getting into the Aurora system and over to the planet Grey, getting your DSS out, your super surface scanner, and give that planet a good old scanning. When you do, you're going to pick up something called irregular markers, and these are new now to Elite Dangerous Odyssey. They'll have different threat levels on there depending on how many people are going to be down there guarding this irregular marker. Once you've fixated on one of these particular items, one of these markers, get your ship down to the planet. Once you do, Follow the ship and the directions in, and you'll see what an irregular marker is. Now, this is a threat level 1. At the moment, it's all looking nice, calm, and peaceful. That can change in an instant. Now, you're going to need your Maverick suit for this, and hopefully you've already got one of those. Don't worry about any floating ammunition boxes. They're there in case you get into a bit of a scuffle and run out of ammunition. There's also, on this particular item, a crash skimmer. I can use that to go over there and get some additional data. There's also a cargo rack which I can cut open. Now, what I found here, only cut open one side of the cargo rack at a time. If you cut them both open, then the other items that you've just cut open will disappear, as you've seen there. Now, that might be fixed later on in the game, who knows, but you could potentially go in from having 6 materials down to 3. With your laser cutter from your Maverick suit, cut open the maintenance panel on that skimmer and take any items in there as well. Always handy to take any equipment. Round the back of that skimmer, you're also going to find a little data module to download. Download that data. This is going to take a little while. Once you've done that, get yourself over to the containers, and there's 2 sides to these containers. Get the laser cutter out again, and then get your transfer charger energy link out and transfer some power to it. Once you've done that, you can then overload it by using the secondary fire of this item. Once in, I have found here, I've got some energy on the right hand side in case I was running low, but here
Reports from independent explorers indicate that an unusual visual phenomenon has appeared in deep space. A distant point of light, described as a reddish-orange flare with faint radial patterns, has been observed close to the Barnard's Loop Nebula. It is thought to have appeared only recently. Universal Cartographics has confirmed that the location of this flare does not match any previously catalogued stellar body or star. Early attempts to verify these reports have noted a strange response when the same region of space is observed through a full-spectrum system scanner. No definitive target can be isolated, but claims of a faint background noise generated by FSS audio converters have been asserted. Commander Eva Llewellyn, speaking to Vox Galactica, remarked, "I'm used to the FSS making all sorts of strange noises, but listening to this thing, comet, solar flare, whatever it is, gives me goosebumps. Something feels off all right. The scanner tells me there's nothing there, nothing to focus on. Can't say I agree. Still, smarter people than me will figure out the truth of it all, I guess. At present, it is unknown if this is a naturally occurring stellar event. Pilots are attempting to gather more data, but as yet no authority or scientific body has provided any official analysis of the phenomenon. Experts speculate on Thargoid behavior. The Thargoid's resistance to the Proteus wave in HIP 22460 has prompted discussion among academics in the field of xenology. Professor Seamus Madigan of Olympus Village University published a paper in the scientific journal The Empirical, which included this extract. The Thargoids' newly observed defense against a man-made superweapon and their subsequent aggression suggests a direct response to our tactics. Not only have they upgraded their technology, but also their behavior has altered. Humanity is now a problem that must be dealt with. The Imperial Science Academy's Director of Xenological Studies, Ivano Columbera, responded to a press query with, "My hypothesis is that the Thargoids' ability to disrupt Guardian technology was first conceived millions of years ago during the Guardian-Thargoid conflict, and only now have they sought to redeploy it against our hybrid modules. Nevertheless, my division has been ordered to focus on developing practical countermeasures." Dr. Zhonghui Xin, a senior member of the Holloway Bioscience Institute, outlined her viewpoint via the Rewired network. "We should not assume that the Thargoids have consciously adapted to us, or even register us as an intelligent life form. We may be no more than parasites to them. Perhaps their vessels are responding like biomechanical antibodies, automatically fighting against a particularly virulent strain of human infection in HIP 22460. Remarkable lost planet rediscovered. The location of the first green gas giant ever recorded was a mystery for years, but it has now been found by a community of explorers. Commander Kelly Eldridge initially made the discovery on the 23rd of May 3301, noting that it was the strangest gas giant I've seen so far. The vivid green bands in the planet's atmosphere made it unique to explorers at the time, and these types of gas giant are still extremely rare. The unusual coloration is believed to be caused by free-floating radioplankton that absorb planetary radiation. Unfortunately, astrographic data of the system was not retained by Eldridge, so its precise location was lost. But in early 3308, Commander Richard Fluorinis M began gathering enthusiasts for the Eldridge Gate expedition to collectively search for the missing planet. The mission involved analyzing constellation patterns and interstellar gas clouds in the only available image taken by Eldridge. Pilots also retraced her path by tracking neutron stars with her Discovery tag, which involved multiple ships sweeping across an enormous area within the Perseus Crags region. A match for the green gas giant was eventually made on the 16th of August by Commander Orange, who identified it as the seventh planet in the Shore ID LPD5274 system. With the system name supplied, Universal Cartographics then verified that it was indeed the original submitted by Eldridge. Cynthia Sideris, chairperson of Universal Cartographics, gave a public tribute to the expedition. For over 7 years, astronomers have been unable to officially catalogue the very first green gas giant. Through hard work and perseverance, it has finally been found, and the full story of Shore ID LPD52747 can be recorded for posterity. We are indebted to the Independent Explorers Association and everyone who took part in this historic achievement. Supply mined materials to Azimuth Biotech. Pilots Federation alert. Azimuth Biotech has called on mining vessels to deliver raw materials to the glorious Prospect megaship in the NHS 157 system. The campaign was launched by the corporation's acting CEO, Torben Raidmaker. Our mission to continue developing anti-xenotechnologies is currently hampered by a lack of resources to establish new facilities. Azimuth's investment in the Proteus Wave project and related infrastructure was considerable. Meanwhile, the reckless actions of anarchists and political extremists have inhibited our recovery. Generous credit payments are being offered for supplies of the following mined metals: cobalt, gallite, and osmium. These can be delivered to the glorious Prospect in the LHS 157 system. With a suitably reinforced corporate infrastructure, Azimuth can regain its status as the premier organization for xenological research in the core systems. Dedicated supporters will be granted access to the Mooney system, should they not already have it. In recent weeks, Azimuth Biotech was forced to withdraw from the Merop and Karato systems following a coordinated campaign by an organized group opposing salvation. Currently, the corporation maintains a single facility in Booney as well as Hindmine Starport in the T-Tauri system. Empire shifts anti-Xeno strategy. Emperor Arisa Lavigny Duval has made a public announcement for the first time since the Battle of HIP 22460. In an address before the Senate, which was broadcast on all Imperial networks, she stated, "Our endeavor in the HIP 22460 system was a noble one, born from our duty to defend Imperial citizens against the Thargoid threat. We honor the crews of the INV Audacious Dream, INV Illustrious Fortune, and INV Paramount, as well as other auxiliaries and volunteers who fought against overwhelming odds. Their names will be remembered. The disastrous outcome from the so-called
Starport
coalition
Services.
provides direction for our future. It is clear to me that the Empire must learn to trust its own military strength once again. Joint operations with the Alliance and Federation, and our reliance upon Salvation's superweapon, were strategic errors that we cannot afford to repeat. Henceforth, all inter-superpower projects will cease. I have commanded the Imperial Navy to focus exclusively on protecting the Empire's borders against our enemies, regardless of their origin. Resources and finances allocated to external suppliers will be redirected internally to corporations of Imperial origin. Our scientists and manufacturers will provide the means to shield our territory against Thargoid invasion. To the people of the Empire, be assured that your safety is my highest priority. As your Emperor, I vow that we will endure as the strongest civilization in history. A new chapter for Azimuth. Azimuth Biotech has outlined plans for the corporation's future following the confirmation of Salvation's death. Director
What y'all loading up a game?
Head of Strategic
What you about to load up a game?
submitted a statement to public news feeds. The loss of Salvation, formerly known as Caleb Wycherley, is a sad day for our organization. We will remember his sacrifice on humanity's behalf, but recognize this as a chance to forge a fresh path towards the future. Azimuth Biotech is now under new management, with myself as its acting CEO. We have lost a great deal of expertise and personnel, but our decades of genealogical research will serve a vital purpose in the war against the Thargoids. Unfortunately, due to a misguided campaign by radicalized saboteurs, many of our official facilities have been illegally snatched from our control. Yet plans are already underway to rebuild our corporate infrastructure. Of our surviving megaships, the Musashi has returned to our headquarters in the T-Tauri system, while the Glorious Prospect has jumped to the LHS-157 system to establish a resource-gathering initiative. I can assure our former clients in the Alliance, Empire and Federation that Azimuth Biotech is beginning a new chapter in its long and successful history. Fears rise of Thargoid expansion. Pilots Federation alert. Ships traveling in the vicinity of HIP 22460 have reported so-called hyperdiction incidents at increased distances from the Thargoid-controlled system. Pilots have filed similar reports about encounters in VO402 Aurigay, HR1490, Sinuafe SACB332, and several other systems. The number of ships being pulled from hyperspace and scanned by Thargoid vessels, or in some cases attacked immediately, has substantially increased. Admiral Maxton Price issued a statement on behalf of the Federal Navy. Our initial analysis suggested that, having eliminated the Proteus wave, the Thargoids would extend their forces out from the HIP 22460 system. Unfortunately, those predictions have proved correct.
Acknowledged.
New data indicates that they are using that system as a base of operations to expand into the sector.
Galaxy map.
Hyperdiction events do not always result in conflict, but the recent spate of direct attacks proves that the Thargoids' aggression toward humanity has reached new levels. All civilian traffic should exercise extreme caution while traveling within the Pleiades region. Professor Albert Tesreau published an alternative viewpoint. What we interpret as a military expansion may instead be an attempt to reclaim territory. The Pleiades Nebula has long had a considerable Thargoid presence, with many planets containing barnacle sites where their vessels harvest meta-alloys. It seems logical that they would use their increased numbers in HIP 22460 to reassert their claim on the region. Retrial requested for Admiral Tanner. The Federal Attorney's Office has called for the conviction of former Admiral Aidan Tanner to be reviewed in light of events in HIP 22460. Following a distinguished career in the Federal Navy, Tanner served as
I need to find a
for Aegis.
push.
In November 3307, while in command of the Aegis defense megaship Musashi, he attempted to take control of Hindmine Starport. He believed it held evidence that Salvation intentionally attracted the Thargoids to the Khonsar system in order to test his superweapon. Tanner's attack failed and the Musashi was overtaken, largely due to superior numbers of independent pilots supporting the former Taurus Mining Ventures, now Azimuth Biotech. He was court-martialed, dishonorably discharged, and found guilty of mutiny and unlawful military action. But his sentencing was postponed by request of Fleet Admiral Tayo Makori, who considered Tanner's intel to be crucial to his own investigation into Salvation. The Federal Times published this statement from senior attorney Fiona Logan. It is now a proven fact that the Guardian-based nature of the Proteus wave was intended to attract the Thargoid fleet to HIP 22460. Component analysis by Ramtar has verified that its Forerunner superweapons were almost certainly designed to do likewise.
System map.
This
Displaying
substantiates
map.
Tanner's allegation that Salvation deliberately invited Thargoid incursions in inhabited systems. Furthermore, Salvation originally claimed that his anti-Xeno detection network alerted him to the aliens' approach, but there is no evidence that this network exists. The Federal Navy Criminal Court confirmed that a formal application for a judiciary review was received. A special panel has been convened to reassess Tanner's case. Report from HIP 22460. Salvation is dead. It has been confirmed.
We're gonna
that
go that
Salvation,
way.
figurehead of Azimuth Biotech and creator of the Proteus
Disembark.
Wave, was killed on board the Bright
Alex
Sentinel.
online.
A segment of a transmission by an independent rescue team within HIP 22460 was shared with Vox Galactica by an anonymous source. The team was reporting back to the Musashi megaship, which has now returned to the T-Tauri system. Captain Kadir.
Play Galnet. Play music.
Playing
Please
entry.
push in the containers. Take as much as you possibly can. I was able to get out of this particular item 9 items of push, of which I only need 5 for Domino Green. But there's also other items there as well which you can put into your inventory, and it's worthwhile stocking up. Synthetic pathogens, more push, and a handy little grenade case as well, in case you're running short and you're dropped into some sort of bother. Okay, now for me, I recharged up my energy and then took one of the energy items from inside the canister. Don't forget, round the other side of the canister, there is another door, there's more items in there. But I was able to get the amount of push I needed to satisfy Domino Green and
I've
progress
got the
to
best
next
stock in the system.
engineer. How easy was that?
Sure.
But don't
Take a
forget
look
to
around.
pick up some of the other items as well. Some will turn up as being illegal, but only illegal if you've got them in your backpack. Alright? Once they transfer to your ship, I don't think anybody tends to notice. Once I've got all this, it was time to go over to Domino Green's area, which is Odyssey.
Okay, let's take a look.
And her base is the Jackrabbit. Couple of jumps from the system I was in. Once in the base, you can go into the main part of the base and go and find Domino Green. And she'll give you a little bit of sass. She's quite funny to listen to. Not your normal dry engineer. And like I say, you can engineer your suits and your weapons. Thanks very much for watching and your continued support. Like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and check back for more Elite Dangerous Odyssey videos in the series. See you soon. Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Suit schematics and weapon schematics are also a much needed commodity that you'll need to engineer up your suit. What do we mean by this? Well, yes, you can go and purchase one if you're lucky to find one, but if you're not, you've got to take them up through the levels to get them engineering slots to give you that advantage in combat or on missions. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be going to a tourist settlement. You haven't got to go to a tourist settlement. Any settlement that's got a whopping great big command centre and or power plant will do nicely. Now, I happen to be in a tourist system, and as a result of which there are a few sites in this particular tourist system, like this, in O Tourist Lodge, which suits me fine. At one end of the base, you've got the habitation and the bar, the boozer, all that sort of stuff. And there you can get some materials and you can get access
Appreciate
by
the business.
scanning individuals to get access all the way down to the command/power plant down the bottom. Normally these sites...
Alright.
Can I help you, Commander? Got something you need to offload?
Absolutely beat. I haven't been able to sleep at all.
You name it, I've got it.
No matter what I do, I just can't get a solid 6. Sure. I think the constant shift changes have destroyed my sleep schedule. Honestly, I barely slept at all last week. I think I'm starting to hallucinate. Yeah.
No skin off my nose.
Stumbled across a bunch of hardcore smugglers a few years back. Not a pleasant experience.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome to Allied
That, I don't think that's how you're supposed to do it. You got a gun? Let me have a talk with you. My pretty. Launch. 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 Launch.
Affirmative. Stand by. Checking all systems. Repairs, fuel, weapons, check. Ignition. Engines online. Standing by for launch.
Affirmative. 30 meters. You have the com. Landing modules. Retracted.
Night vision.
That's affirmative, Captain.
Fine.
Flight path is clear. Darkon out.
Engage FSD.
Charging frameshift drive.
Oops, wrong way. Detailed surface scanner. Detailed surface scanner. DSS. Surface scanner. Surface scanner. How close do I gotta fucking get? Orbit lines.
Okay.
Detailed surface scanner. Deploy surface scanner. Deploy surface scanner. Surface scanner. Oh, it already learned it. Ha, exit. 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 Shit. Planet information. Planet info. Planet info. Planet information. Planetary information. Planetary information. Okay. System map.
System cartography.
Gauge FSD.
Charging frameshift drive.
Fire Group Alpha. Orbit lines.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Combat mode. Combat mode.
Affirmative.
Oh well, I am now. Fire group Charlie. Analysis mode.
Acknowledged.
Surface scanner. Surface scan. Scan surface. Detailed surface scanner. Detailed surface scanner. Full spectrum system scanner.
I'm on to it.
How about that all 15 bot?
Playing entry. Eden.
Exit.
High metal content planet. A metal-rich world with a metallic core. Worlds like this can have metallic ores near the surface in places, especially around areas of past volcanism.
Phenomenal.
Okay, what planet did he search? What type of planet did that dude go to?
Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Odyssey. There's a new material and substance out there to go and find. It's called Push. But how do you exactly
what's up, Ryan? How you doing?
Well, let's find out. Now, this lovely young lady is Domino Green. She's a troubled,
Sorry, having a
brilliant
tough
young
time finding the
engineer
material.
that's been introduced
That's
with
new.
the other new engineers in Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Why is she so important? She is an engineer to allow you to engineer your suits and your weapons. Now, she requires this substance called Push as well to introduce you to another engineer. So I'm off to the Aurora system to go and have a look at the planet Grey. Now the planet Grey is a planet that has got a particular set of items on it. Getting into the Aurora system and over to the planet Grey, getting your DSS out, your super surface scanner, and give that planet a good...
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna figure out where this planet is. A rare. God. Why do I feel like this is about to... Exit. Full spectrum system scanner.
Yes, Captain.
Exit. Oh yeah, it's way better on PC, bro. Oh my god, you have no idea. What I'm trying to find is irregular, whatever it is. It's called irregular something. I'll pull the video back up in a second and see it again, but I'm trying to, I think I'm gonna have to go to this place. System map. Oh yeah.
System map.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Costs a little bit of money, but it's worth it. It's fun. I haven't learned all the commands and stuff yet, but yeah. Get a planetary. Nope, they don't got that in there. It's considered goods. Legal drugs. Consumer items. Nope. Yo, I gotta find a system. I gotta find this. Oh yeah, that's super dope, bro. I've been using it for a little bit here, but most streamers have it, bro, and it's dope. Like switching weapons, launching your fighter, accessing systems. Makes it all. I'm trying to find this new drug called Push so I can take it to the engineer, because yeah, I want to unlock her so I can have access. Here, I'll show you. Domino Green. Suits and equipment. She's real close, but I gotta find Push. It says shared knowledge of another engineering exchange. Yeah. But either way, I want to find how to find it, because see, it says notable signals for it. We gonna go there. Yep. Have you? Check it out. See if you can find where Push is without watching a video. There's no like tell you location, my guy. Would be nice. No, it's a irregular marker. Oh, I'm over by La Landing. Hold on. LANDE 22701, I believe. Yeah. It's bottom left of my screen. Bet. Fire Group Alpha. Combat mode.
Acknowledged.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Captain.
Orbit lines.
Okay, Captain.
Orbit lines.
Right away, Captain.
%, impulse. 10% pulse. 10% impulse. 25% pulse. Pole. Pulse. Pulse. It doesn't know it. Deploy
Awaiting
fighter.
orders.
There could be something to scan here.
Standing by for launch. Deploying fighter. That's
Roger
already
that. I've
done.
got control of the mothership. Ship is mine. Awaiting instructions.
Let's see what's out here. Night vision.
Affirmative.
That'll get me in. That'll start an unnecessary fight. I kill some. I want to do. They sound so. I can't do it. Recall fighter. Return fighter. Recall fighter.
Iridian, bringing the fighter in immediately.
Receiving telemetry.
I was
Stand
about
by.
to mess something up.
Door opening.
Fighter successfully docked, Commander. Let's get out of here.
Galaxy map.
Displaying map.
Hold on.
Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Odyssey. There's a new... Now, she requires this substance called Push, Planet Grey. Now, the Planet Grey is...
Warrior. Whatever it is. I can't mute it. ORR. ER. Galaxy map.
Opening map.
Engage FSD.
Charging frameshift drive.
Play Galnet.
Playing entry.
Drummond, you're not paying us well enough to be in this hellhole. There are Thargoids everywhere we turn. But we found out what you wanted to know. It's not
Scanning.
good news. We finally managed to get close to the wreck of the Bright Sentinel, near where the bridge used to be.
Affirmative.
We're drifting among the twisted metal, but fewer than we expected. We identified some of the command crew, including Commodore Halloran, but even before we got a positive ID scan,
Deploy heat sink.
I recognized Dr. Witchley
Complying.
immediately. Nobody else could possibly look so old. He was still in his command
Engage
chair,
FSD on my
surrounded by
mark.
shattered fragments of cybernetic implants.
Engage
Medical
FSD on my mark.
He was dormant. Despite his shredded and
Engage
broken body,
FSD
his
on my
eyes were
mark.
frozen open. I
Okay.
reached out to close them,
Engage.
but a Thargoid interceptor suddenly walked in and we had to race back to our
Engage.
ship. I'm uploading all
Charging
our
frameshift drive.
data now, but I'm sorry to report that our primary target
Yeah.
was not recoverable. Salvation is dead.
Right next to it.
Azimuth
It's not that
Biotech has
far, like,
confirmed that it
2
employed
months.
freelance specialists to locate any survivors.
It's
personnel from the Proteus Wave project and that their findings were believed to be accurate. No further statement has yet been made. Megaship materials boost Alliance defense force. Pilots Federation alert.
Scanning
Sirius
now.
Corporation has gathered resources in the Leasty system to help improve the Alliance's anti-Xeno defenses. The campaign's conclusion was announced by Captain Delphina Dominguez, commanding officer of the Chariot of Rhea megaship. Many pilots docked with us over the past week to deliver shipments of energy grid assemblies, magnetic emitter coils, power transfer buses, and titanium. On behalf of Sirius Corporation and the Allied Defense Force, I thank you for such encouraging support. I am informed that these will be sufficient to outfit 2 Sentry megaships, each armed with experimental AX weaponry. These will be placed in key systems across the Alliance, ready to respond to potential Thargoid incursions.
Alpha Group C.
Admiral Glass has outlined his long-term plans to senior officers in the Sirius Navy.
Captain, it's done.
It's clear that these are exciting times for the Alliance Defense Force. If the Thargoids come, we will be better prepared to repel them. The Council of Admirals has stated that the new megaships are expected to become operational by September 15th. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect payment from the Chariot of Rhea in the Listi system. Thargoid rule claim draws speculation. An independent journalist has suggested that some survivors of the Battle of HIP 22460 heard a strange alien sound of unknown origin.
Charging frameshift drive.
Flint firemaker Lafos published his theories via the Rewired network. Only a handful of crew members rescued from HIP 22460 managed to give garbled first-hand accounts
Affirmative,
before being
Captain.
placed. The military quarantine. Naturally, most talked about how those damn bugs wiped out almost everyone. But a few mentioned something bizarre heard shortly after the Thargoid counterattack. These witnesses described it in various ways. Ghastly,
Scanning for
overwhelming,
information.
monstrous to name a few. Jade Sanderlin,
Playing entry.
Vox Galactica's hotshot reporter, said it was
Close
a noise
K stars
which shook our
are
bodies.
yellow-orange main sequence stars with a long
Affirmative,
and
Captain.
generally stable life.
Now,
They
there are
range in
no
mass
audio
from
recordings in the
0.6 to
public domain to
0.9
share,
solar
but there's
masses
definitely
and have a
pattern
surface
if you study
temperature
the
reaching
reports
5,000
closely.
Kelvin.
Both ship and suit audio
Phenomenal.
systems
Engage FSD.
Charging frameshift drive.
sorts of electromagnetic emissions from Thargoid vessels. This would have to be a far more powerful cry to cut through the chaos across multiple ships.
Full spectrum
Could it have
system
been a
scanner.
roar of defiance aimed at us? Or was it aimed somewhere
Full
else?
spectrum system
And
scanner.
before anyone accuses me of stirring
Aye,
up
aye,
trouble
Captain.
like usual. No, I haven't technically heard the alleged sound myself. Full disclosure.
Patching you through. Eden?
But someone
Exit.
has to
Close
speak
K
up for
stars
those who
are
insist
yellow-orange
it
main
Engage
sequence
or
stars with a
FSD.
long and generally stable life.
Engage
They range
FSD.
in mass from 0.6
Charging
to
frameshift
0.9
drive.
solar masses and have a surface temperature reaching
Oh, nah,
5,000
bruh. Why?
Federal Navy
I can go to a
classified
planet and find
details
myself.
by stating all HIP 22460 data was classified. The Imperial Navy refused to acknowledge me at all. The Alliance Defense Force said it was likely a symptom of collective trauma or hysteria. So the obvious question is, what are they all hiding? Congressional hopeful Dalton, Governor of Andevangel 1, is one of
Scanning
the
for
people
information.
in a position of stellar authority to
Patching you through. Eden?
Class M star.
22460.
Class M stars are red stars that form the bulk of the main sequence stars in the galaxy. Their mass is low, as is their surface temperature.
Kid Fowler and Joy Senna are
Extraordinary.
also not accepting the silence. We'll continue demanding answers from those who are supposedly protecting us. A day of
Full spectrum system scanner.
460.
Affirmative,
President
Captain.
Zachary
Exit.
Hudson has announced that today is a federal day of remembrance for those lost
Engage
in
FSD on my mark.
22460 on August 9th.
Standing
In
by.
a public
Engage.
address, the president formally
Charging
acknowledged
frameshift drive.
the recent tragedy. The Battle of HIP 22460 is a dark day in our interstellar nation's history. The crews of the FNS Bombardier,
Swear to God, my ship is the bomb.
Fortitude, and FN
Well,
The S. Variant Scott gave their lives with dignity and honor, as did many other courageous individuals. They will never be forgotten for as long as the Federation endures. We
Captain
recognize
gotta
the
have him
massacre
some Swiss.
of the crew for what it was. The latest example of unrelenting hostility
Scanning
by our
now.
Thargoid enemy. Another event which leads me to believe no peace can be brokered with that species. I promise. under no uncertain terms, that the loss of over 50,000 naval personnel will be avenged.
What's your laden, unladen? What do you mean? You talking about how far I can jump?
To the Federal Times.
20?
I wholeheartedly support the creation of this day of remembrance.
Hold on.
But we are not entirely blameless in causing the disaster. If not for an ill-considered commitment of Federal Navy resources to Salvation's banner, this misguided project might never have been realized. I might add that President Hudson fails to explain precisely how we will enact revenge upon the Thargoids.
Galaxy map.
Now that we appear to lack further superweapon technology, our conventional forces will be severely challenged if the conflict escalates.
System map.
Palin and Ram Tar seek unclassified relics. Pilots Federation alert. 2 engineers who specialize in studying alien technology have requested deliveries of a newly discovered artifact. Professor Ishmael Palin explained the details. These unclassified relics dash, as they are currently known, are Guardian in origin.
Orbit lines.
Such artifacts trigger a hostile reaction from any Thargoid.
Oh, I have so many ships. It's not even funny. Wait till I hit my fleet carrier. Which I might hit it later or I might not. But yeah, I got an Anaconda, bro. What am I talking about? Ain't I on my Anaconda?
Appeared on my sensors as Commander Hurix approached Able.
Yo, I'm pretty sure I'm on my Anaconda right now, bro.
I am now offering reimbursement to any pilots who can provide more relics for further study.
Yeah, I'm on my Anaconda right now, bro.
Similar statement. This
no,
is an exciting development.
Ain't no need for a Guardian. I'm not doing mad travel.
For the very first time,
if I need to travel somewhere, I just take my fleet carrier.
Have interacted to synthesize a new material. Initial data suggests this is now a consistent process whenever a Guardian relic interfaces with a Thargoid surface site. The first relic I saw was gratefully received from Commander Denlacker's team several days ago. What is their purpose? Have we accidentally unlocked some transformative function that was always present? Or have the Thargoids reconsidered their technological adaptation in response to recent events in the HIP 22460 system? With the help of contributing pilots, my shared research project with Professor Palin may furnish us with answers. Unclassified relics can be delivered to Professor Palin at Able Laboratory in the ARC system, or to Ramtar at Phoenix Base in the Mean system. Mysteries of the Thargoids. Professor Ishmael
fleet carrier is about $5 billion.
Authority on the Thargoids has authored a short article for the scientific journal The Empirical.
Give or take.
Recent events have once again brought a focus on the alien species we call Thargoids. I have witnessed governments, militaries and public figures characterize them as a mindless destructive force akin to a swarm of locusts. I feel it is important to underscore how much is absent from our understanding. Despite many decades of research, the Thargoid civilization remains
Fire Group
totally
Charlie.
alien. We still have almost
Fire
no
Group
true
Alpha.
understanding of their language, society, culture, or objectives.
Combat
Violent
mode.
interactions with their spacecraft in recent years have provided little insight other than their commitment to patrolling and harvesting meta-alloy sources. Of course, their willingness to fight is one of the few traits we definitely share. As yet we have almost no knowledge of their hierarchy, beyond broad assumptions that they follow the functional roles of known insect species. Due to the biomechanical nature of their constructs, we are even uncertain about the dividing line between individual beings and their vessels. If living Thargoids have ever been studied, as is rumored, then it is by clandestine means, concealed from the scientific community. While Thargoids frequently drag ships out of hyperspace to be scanned, not all of these incidents result in an attack. Their hostile reaction to Guardian artifacts may be something like...
Oh yeah, it's hella underrated. Yo,
into their technology.
did that just really happen?
Even the Thargoids' perception of time could be very different to ours. What we think of as an ancient war might be recent or ongoing from their viewpoint. However, in HIP 22460, we witnessed something new, an active countermeasure to the Proteus wave. This suggests that their perception of humanity has changed. We are no longer troublesome scavengers claiming the scraps left behind by higher life forms. Instead, we have sought to decimate their numbers again, just as with the mycoid
Spectrum
virus
scanner.
ago. I believe we now have the Thargoids' full attention. Our future relationship with the Thargoids is uncertain. but I'm keen to offer the reminder that we are dealing with a species of enormous intelligence and complexity, not a horde of
Exit.
voracious animals. We must strive to learn more about them, and hope they have the capacity to view us
Fire
as something
group
other
Charlie.
than an enemy. Far God cult praises alien victory. A breakaway sect of the Thargoid-worshipping fringe religion is apparently celebrating the massacre of human forces in the HIP 22460 system. A message was broadcast from the Testament megaship by the anonymous woman known only as the first apostle of the true chapters. We rejoice in the Far God's triumph. Those who tried to desecrate the Dark Angels have paid the price. The Far God is calling to us from the higher dimensions, and its manifestation is closer than ever before. It is coming. There has been widespread outrage at Far God believers for their joyous reaction to the many thousands of deaths in HIP 22460. Some political and military leaders have even called for the alien-loving traitors to be arrested as enemy agents. However, there is no evidence that they have any actual relationship with the Thargoid species other than idolization. Dr. Jamila Griffin of the Galactic Interfaith Commune commented, "Despite its unusual belief system, and notwithstanding the poor taste of the First Apostle's remarks, we should support the evolution of the Far God cult toward a more structured framework. We must also remember that it is a lawful institution, and only establishes hive chapels in
I got plenty at the front now. Come on, give me the last one.
liberty. Authorities in several of those systems have
Come on.
stated that local Far God chapters are experiencing a surge in recruitment. Anecdotal reports suggest that these newest members are convinced the
Playing entry.
Exit map.
Eden.
Thargoid war is
That's
already
already
lost,
done.
and that
Planets.
humanity's
Exit.
A
extinction
rocky
is as
world with little or
inevitable
no
as the cult
surface
has
metal
always
content.
claimed.
Worlds like this have lost most of their
Patria's
volatile
highlights
There we go, let's go.
tactics.
and any metallic
Senator
content
Denton
will form a small
Patrias,
central
fleet
core.
of the
Exit.
Imperial
Extraordinary.
Navy has discussed the Empire's new priorities following the Battle of HIP 22460. During an exclusive interview with the Eye on Achenar newsfeed, Patrias said, "Her Majesty the Emperor has decreed that our military priority is to defend systems within the Empire. The Imperial Navy's production and training facilities have increased their efforts to redress the loss of 3 Majestic-class interdictors, along with tens of thousands of naval crew. I've conducted my own tactical
Let it, bro. I'm about
analysis
to
of
touch
what
down and
took
hit this
place in the
irregular marker
22460 system. Salvation's
and grab these items off this planet.
Thargoid ruins was no coincidence.
Switch to
I
my
feel
Maverick outfit,
he
my
was
Maverick
something of a
suit.
showman, and planning a final victory in the alien's own
Thank you for
territory
coming
was
through.
what
Make
was
sure you hit
his
that
ambition.
follow.
The Thargoids attacked
And
human fleets
catch
with
you on the next
ferocious
one.
intent,
You
but the
dig?
fact they never assaulted the Proteus wave site strikes me as remarkable. Even when considering the stout resistance we offered, there is saying among military strategists, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. In hindsight, it seems possible that the Thargoids allowed the Proteus wave to be installed at their surface site, with the foreknowledge that they could turn the superweapon against us. Perhaps Salvation unknowingly constructed his own execution chamber. I'm convinced that we face an alien intelligence with the strategic competence to match any human opponent. The Empire cannot underestimate this enemy ever again. Thargoids turn attention to inhabited systems. Pilots Federation alert. Swarms of Thargoid vessels have invaded the 42N Persei, Chun-Pindit and Tekachel systems in an apparently coordinated attack. Vox Galactica published this report by field correspondent Ernesto Rios. Since the Thargoids conquered HIP 22460 a month ago, their presence has gradually expanded in all directions. But these are the first inhabited systems to be invaded since the Proteus wave incident, threatening a combined population of over 7 million people. The governing factions of these systems,
What?
Sirius Inc., SI Terraforming, and
I'm about to get
Tekachel
off of
Public
here soon
Corporation
anyways. I've been streaming for like almost 2 hours.
collectively are
Talking to me?
expected to host defensive operations against the Thargoids. None are
I'll
aligned
transfer
to any
power to
superpower,
shields and deploy
so have
landing
no
gear?
formal navy to
Yes.
support these efforts. As yet,
Affirmative,
none of the
Captain.
starports in 42N Persei, Chun-Pindit or Tekachel have been directly attacked. Civilians have been instructed to remain calm, but many are evacuating, fearful of the stations suffering caustic enzyme bombardment. This is a notable difference from previous Thargoid incursions and has led some military figures to theorize on the aliens' new strategic objectives.
Redistributing.
Defensive operations are being orchestrated from the starports Bennington's Rest, Samudar Terminal,
Land.
and Riemann Colony. Thargoid combat bonds can be handed in at these locations for increased credit rewards. Federation monitors pro-Xeno activity. The Federal Intelligence Agency has warned of heightened interest in the Thargoid cult and groups considered sympathetic to the Thargoids. Deputy Director Bethany Blake, who runs the Proactive Detection Bureau, delivered a public statement. We have confirmed a significant increase in communications between local chapters of the Thargoid religious order, which includes the sharing of unverified xenological data.
Yes.
The Thargoid's victory in
Deploying.
HIT 22460 seems to have caused unprecedented excitement among the cultists. At present, there is no evidence that they pose any danger to the public. However, we are concerned by a recent increase in citizens abandoning their conventional lifestyles to join the cult. We have also noted the rising popularity of a civil movement that advocates diplomatic relations with the Thargoids. This rhetoric is being promoted by several high-profile media figures. There is currently no known connection between these Xenopeace supporters and the Thargoid cult, but both groups are being closely observed for potential criminality. Dr. Alfred Ulyanov, the leading academic authority on the Thargoid faith, submitted his observations to the Federal Times. Recent events in HIT 22460 have galvanized the cultists, but also seem to have triggered an element of discord among some. Worshippers are abandoning the orthodox Hyde chapels and pledging themselves to the True Chapter sect, where the first apostle is being hailed as a holy messenger of the Far God. My contacts inform me that the Testament Megaship has dispatched scouts to locate a more permanent home, likely to accommodate a wave of new converts. Successful mining campaign sustains Azimuth. Pilots Federation alert. A range of mining materials have been delivered to the LHS 157 system to help Azimuth Biotech create new facilities. Captain Maxim Lebanov, in command of the glorious Prospect Megaship, announced. This is the second time in recent weeks that our cargo bays have been stocked with vital supplies to sustain Azimuth's future. These shipments of cobalt, galite and osmium will be distributed to our manufacturing teams, and we hope to construct new permanent facilities in good time. Torben Rainmaker has authorized us to release funds to all pilots required to deliver these materials. This initiative has played a major role in helping to rebuild the corporation and continue our important work. Glorious Prospect will remain in the LHS 157 system for now. Pilots who have contributed to this initiative will shortly receive a Booney system permit, providing individual contribution targets were met. With the destruction of the Bright Satellite,
boy, I'm whipping this. Let's go.
Is currently the only supplier of Salvation's pre-engineered Guardian Gauss cannon, Guardian Plasma Charger, and Guardian Shard cannon. Marr rebukes Imperial isolationism. Prime Minister Edmund Marr has spoken out against Emperor Arisa Lagan's decree to suspend inter-superpower cooperation. At a meeting of the Alliance Assembly, Marr said, "This hasty decision from Emperor Arisa will have dangerous repercussions for the core systems as a whole, not just those within the Empire. Now that the Thargoids have become more hostile than ever before, humanity should be uniting against this common enemy. Let us not forget, the coalition of anti-Xeno task forces in HIT 22460 performed their duties admirably, despite the tragic conclusion. That degree of military coordination could and should be sustained to a far broader scale. The Sirius Treaty, which I proposed at the Galactic Summit in 3307, established anti-Xeno operations as a cross-superpower priority. I can only imagine how much better prepared we would now be to combat the Thargoids, but there is still scope for governments and organizations to work more closely, as exemplified by our Strategic Defense Pact with Sirius Corporation. The Alliance, Federation and Marlinist colonies have reported that the Empire is methodically closing collaborative projects. However, official
Okay, got
diplomatic
problems.
representation in non-imperial territories has been maintained. Xenopeace discussions gain momentum. Public debate around the Battle of HIP 22460 has seen the emergence of a grassroots movement that promotes communication
Combat
with
mode.
Thargoids. As militaries prepare for a protracted anti-Xeno conflict, this alternative viewpoint has gained traction on social channels in multiple cities. Proposals ways to open a dialogue with the Thargoid community and end hostilities.
Outstanding.
Disembark.
Ready for action.
Okay, so I gotta see what is this? Deploy cargo scoop.
Deployed.
Come on, pick you up, buddy. Recall ship. Call ship. Call ship. Return ship. Ship return. By the code. Alright, y'all. I'm about to lift off here in a second. I got stuff to do, like sleep, work tomorrow. So I'm gonna tell y'all love, peace, and chicken grease. When my ship comes in.
The ship has landed. Yo, I gotta turn it around. Power sliding forward. What? Oh. Are we about to get up out of here? I'm just trying to put this away, bro. What are you talking about? Okay, maybe I can do it now. There we go.
put this thing away. I should just took it up there. Alright, let's get this stuff out of my bag so I can get on my ship and get up out of there. Recall cargo scoop. Retract cargo scoop.
Retracted.
There you go. Get on my ship. And with that being said, up and away, and I'm up out of here. Love, peace, chicken grease. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Ready to leave this place, Captain?